Hi guys, welcome back to Casually Crafted. My name is Ashley and this is Crafty Chat number 87. So today I have, let's see, three, I think, finished objects to show you and three works in progress and a little bit of acquisitions. So this first finished object that I want to show you is what I made for my birthday. um, so usually in February I try to make myself something that's just for me, and I had a 5K race coming up, and it's February in Wyoming, and I knew it was going to be cold, even though it's been a pretty mild winter for us. But I decided to make myself an ear warmer or headband type thing, whatever you want to call it. So here it is. This yarn, I don't know where I put the label for it, but it's a Malabrigo. I think it's their acrylic version, not a wool version, and it's like eggplant or something color. I don't know. I got it at a local shop for my birthday last year. I got a gift card. This is the Wheat Stitch by Brianna K Designs. Her headband twist, whatever pattern. I don't remember what hook size I used, and it was a little thinner than what she called for, so I just kind of winged it as far as the measurements went. This was my first time making one of these twisty things, so I think you can see kind of like, I don't know if you can actually see because of the pattern of the yarn, but it kind of pokes up right here. So I think the way I seamed it, there's like this little solid piece. Maybe I didn't have it lined up exactly right. I don't know. I would put this on, but it's almost too small. It was really tight on my head, which was nice during a race, a run. I wasn't really racing; I was just running, so that it didn't move at all, and it kept my ears warm, and my earbuds stayed in just fine. So I think that helped. So that's that. My next two ones are things that were birthday presents for my kids. They've been invited to a few birthday parties lately, so I just have pictures of those. So this first one is a cat. This was for a friend of my 5-year-olds who just turned 5, and the pattern is by Oak and Marlowe, I believe. It's the same one who has like the really popular chicken pattern. And I just used 2 strands of this really thin mystery yarn that I think I got from Temu or something. But her mom said she liked rainbow for her colors and she liked cats. So I'll show a picture here of what it looks like. I think it would look better in the blanket yarn that the pattern is like in like the thicker, because there's some rounds that are only like 5 a round, and that's really hard to do like on a smaller scale. So I will probably add that to my patterns I want to make again, also because I paid for the pattern. I don't want to just use it once and not ever pay for it or not ever use it again. I do often have people ask if I have cats for sale when I go to markets, and I haven't loved the loaf cats. I don't know why. But so I might try to make a few of those for markets eventually. So then this next one is for my 8-year-old, which just went to a party, and she said her friend liked bunnies and light purple. So this was, I think Sweet Softies was who made it. I'll put the link down below. She wanted it to look more like a realistic bunny, because I think I have like a leggy bunny of the same color. But she said no, it needed to be more realistic. So I'll post a picture here, and I don't really remember if I don't think I made any changes. It doesn't, his head is too heavy, so when I tried to stand it up to take a picture, he just kind of flopped over. So the only thing I didn't like was that you make like the head and the body, and then you go back and attach the legs, or like crochet legs on, which is fine, but you crochet the ears and then sew them on, and so it was kind of hard to, I feel like they weren't quite in the right spots. Whenever I have to sew 2 of the same thing on, I feel like they're not quite even. So that's on me, I guess, not really the pattern, but yeah, so those are my only finished objects, and the reason for that is because after my last video I realized that this is the year that I'm supposed to make my daughters their Easter dresses. So every other year, at least for a long time, I've been making them their Easter dresses. Before I knew how to crochet, I was doing like sewing or like half sewing, I guess. And then I've done variations of like a mixture of crochet and sewing and all the things together. So every other year, because it's just a lot to do every year. So 2 years ago, I made the pink ones with one color yarn and the same color fabric, but different like patterns. I can post some pictures. Like one was made out of hexagons, one was made out of little squares, and one was like one big square for the front and the back of the shirt part, and then all the skirts were fabric. So this year I'm trying to do all the same pattern, but in different coordinating colors of yarn, because I didn't want to buy anything, especially because Joann's is gone. So all I have here locally is Walmart, and I just wanted to get started on whatever I had in my stash. So I had to find what I had enough of that I thought I could make 3 dresses out of for various sizes of girls, because I have a 12-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 5-year-old. And also like what would actually look good together and that I had enough yarn for. So this is what I came up with. It's probably really tangled in my bag, so I'm gonna get it all organized real quick. Okay, so I will go oldest to youngest. So my oldest is 12, and she actually decided sometime between 2 years ago Easter and last year Easter that she doesn't love wearing dresses to church anymore, which is fine. So last year we got her like a coordinating shirt that matched the other girls' dresses and just had her wear like khaki pants. So hers will probably not be a dress. So I took that into consideration with like how much yarn I needed or whatever. So I'll show you hers first. So hers is probably almost done. I need to have her try it on and see how long it is, but I do need to go at least a little bit longer. So this pattern, I'll talk about the pattern I guess real quick. It's top down, pretty much seamless. So you do this yoke part first, and then you break this for the sleeves, and then it's just a 4-row repeat after the sleeves, so you're no longer increasing. So the repeat is basically like a puff stitch row, then a shell over the puff stitch with a picot. I don't know if you can see the picot that kind of pokes up. Some poke out better than others. And then after that you're doing back loop only, different stitches to kind of even it straight. And then this one is an extended half double crochet. So her yarn is Spernat Softy Cotton, and the color is Pool Green. And I think I bought this to make me a shirt one day, but that's okay. I think I have 6 of these, and I just finished the second ball here, and I'm gonna start on this 3rd ball. So that's hers. And the pattern I found on Ravelry, and I will post a link to it down below. I did have to pay for it, and as far as gauge goes and sizing, I got gauge with a 3.75 millimeter hook, and then when they tried the tops on, when I broke for the sleeves, I wanted to make sure it was going to work. They were a little bit tight, and so I did adjust it a little bit at that point, and then I went up to a 4 millimeter hook because I figured it wouldn't hurt to have the bottom part like a little bit bigger than the top part. So I did that for this one and one of the other ones. So the next one is my 8-year-old, and now I am basically following the same size as for my 12-year-old because they're very similar in width, just not in height. So hers actually might be a little bit wider, I did add a little bit extra in the sleeve section, and hers has a ways to go if it's going to be a dress. It kind of looks kind of weird right there. It's all a little puckered up, but that could just be the extra stitches in the sleeves, or after the sleeves, I mean. This yarn is Karen Blossom Cakes, and I just bought this, I think, over Thanksgiving break at Michael's. So I have 3 of these, and I just recently started the second, somewhere like right here, somewhere under here, pretty a few rows back. I started the second ball, so we'll see how far I get on that. So this is the only multicolored one to kind of pull in all the colors together. And then I just used a 4mm hook through that whole thing. The gauge worked out for that one. And then the last one is for my 5-year-old, so a little bit smaller. Hers is probably almost done lengthwise. So since hers is smaller going around, it's faster. So hers is probably almost done. This yarn is Karen Cotton Ripple Cakes in the color Sunflare. And this one I did start with a 3.75mm hook, and then I went up to the 4mm hook also. So there's hers. Hers looks, it's a little more holey, partly because the yarn it goes thick to thin. It's not all even, and I don't know, just the way the yarn works up, it's less fuzzy than the other ones a little bit. So you can see a little bit more holes on the rows of the shells, or the rows right after the shells, I guess, and those little spots. But yeah, I think that's everything. So this is my main project right now. Obviously Easter's only a few weeks away, especially for us. Our Easter Sunday is basically the week before Easter, because we have other church meetings on Easter Day. We won't have like a normal church Sunday. So I guess here I'll show you all 3 together real quick. Ooh. Because it was really hard to decide what to do. I had some other yarns, and some were like thinner, and I was like, those are going to take forever. So there is no technical yellow in this color, but this bright green I feel like is kind of in that right shade. And then this tealish colors never turn out right on my camera for some reason, so you'll just have to trust me that like it does match in person. And I made sure it matched like in the sunlight, not just in my house, because I've had that problem before where I'm making something and it looks like it'll match when I'm working on it inside, and then I work on it in the car picking up the kids from school, and all of a sudden they don't really match because I'm out in the sun. So I did decide officially, like while I was in the car, I held up some swatches, and it's like, well, I think that's going to be the best we've got based on what I have to work with, and yarns that aren't going to take forever and a day to get done, because I have some like size 1s and 2s yarns that would work too. But I think that's everything for the dresses, and I left my acquisitions upstairs, so I'll be right back with those. Okay, so I have a friend who texted me and said that she had a bag of yarn, and like there was kind of a picture of it, but it didn't really show everything it was, and said and asked if I wanted it, and so I said sure. Never turn down free yarn, right? So she comes over and she drops off this giant bag. I was like, oh, it's a little more than I thought, but that's great. So some of it is attached to a project that obviously she doesn't want anymore, so it's a little tangly, but I will do my best to show you what's all in here. So first we have some Bernat blanket yarn. I don't know, let's see, I think there was maybe one. Let's see if I can get some of that. There's more of it, but there's no ball band that I can see. There's a little bit. here, see, and a little bit there. So this, whatever this purple color is, it looks like she made something out of it. I'm unrolling a ball down here. Yeah, there we go. Oh, here we go. This is Bernat Blanket Ombre. So, whatever that equals to. She also has some of that in this color. There's two of these tealish ones. Let's see if I can see the color. Ocean Teal. Now, some of this is also connected to a separate project. So there's another bit of one. And then here's her project. And so there, I don't know if it's, I think there's a few different ones in here too. Either that or, because this is like a speckle. This isn't really from that same one. So it looked like she had maybe a few different colors going. Some more with this one. Let's see. Alright, so that's all of that, plus the two full ones. And then the rest of it, that's like the biggest section. There is some sort of reddish yarn. I don't know what it is. It's thick, so it might be a Lion Brand. I can't think of what it's called right now. Hometown, maybe. It's not that thick. Maybe not. I have no idea what it is, but it's big and thick, so I could do something with that. And then a similar color. I think this. Yeah, it's like a light. This is called Light Berry Red Heart. It's one of those. It's an old label. So it's like a light reddish pink. A little bit of a pink tint to it. There are two of these Bernat Masala. These look old. I have no idea what I would do with that. They're very fuzzy. Look at that. So that's interesting. And then one of this carriage yarn something. It almost looks pink in my camera, but it's like a light tan. It said it's 95% wool and 5% nylon, 2 ounces for 99 cents. Frou Frou Beige. Unusual novelty yarns by Super Yarn Mart in Los Angeles, California. So, not sure what I'll do with that either. It's it's really stiff. So, probably definitely not a wearable. And then there's a bunch of this stuff here that are all the same with 2 different colors. So this is whatever that is, Viking something, and it's 50 grams. It's all in a different language. Color number 550, and these are, whoa, focus. No idea what any of this says, so I'll have to look that up. There's 4 of these black ones, and then 3 of this purple, and it is not quite that bright in real life. So, yeah, so now I've got to figure out, got to untangle all that Bernat blanket, which I probably won't work on right now, but I'll probably just put it back in this bag for the time being because of my other stuff that I have going on. But that's all I've got. Like, I haven't purchased any yarn recently. I've been trying to be good, and I have purchased patterns, obviously. I just purchased that cat one, but other than that, yeah, that's everything. If you have any ideas of what I could make with some of these, the random purple fuzzy thing, or if you know anything about that Viking one, you could let me know. That'd be great. obviously I could look it up and figure it out, but we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, so that's all for now. We're getting ready for a busy week ahead, so hopefully I can get this edited and out before then. So anyway, I will talk to you guys next time. Bye, guys.